Everything knowledge in the book contains the God from the earthly world, supreme guide of human beings, teacher of all sentient beings, creator of the whole world, endowed with knowledge, glorious one, disappeared from the sight of God, prostrate before him in spirit, triumphantly endowed with ascendant glory, the one born beyond the third sphere, contemplated in the infinite deep, perfect in knowledge in the book contains, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings in spirit, teacher of all sentient beings, creator of the whole world, endowed with ascendant glory, glorious one, disappeared from the sight of God, prostrate before him in spirit and refuge, to the fount of the endowed with endless joy, the one born beyond the third sphere, the complete perfect in knowledge in the book, perfect in knowledge in the book contains, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings in spirit, teacher of all sentient beings, creator of the whole world, endowed with endless joy, glorious conqueror, supreme ruler of all, I prostrate and bow before you. Princess perfect amongst humans who adore you, exalted in heaven strides, then say, I prostrate and bow. To you, the all-wise one, I prostrate. To you, glorious one, supreme ruler, exalted in all worlds, name and place in the three worlds, name and place in all three, I prostrate. To the supreme science of existence, unfathomable, to you I prostrate. Thus three like you, the three worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the pure and merry with qualities like the vast ocean, to you, the one born thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the dull lust, the one path to sublime reality, to the tongue that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and those who show the path to liberation, the holy and pure qualified with realizations, fully guided through the moral precepts. To you, sublime divinity and heavenly virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the supreme ruler, homage to the eternal refuge, homage to the great thunder, to all three ever devout homage, to all real due respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects. To the supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtue sections, perform only perfect virtue sections. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teachings of the Buddha. A star, a visual apparition, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, not drilled by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 50 to the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the heart of the perfection. Thus the perfect one finds the utmost one in matter knowledge. Creator, creating living hearts and a great creator of all things. Perfect time, perfect place, all equal, perfection, phenomenal, perfection. Those are the perfect entities like the clouds and the mountains and the ocean. Fruitful and very practices of pure perfection present, and helpers of all living also related and attached. Ancient world and world creator, shadow of world creator, Buddha, Buddha, highest angel, highest person, perfect perfection, highest activity, perfection, preeminent, supremacy, divine, Ishvara, perfection, infinite, wonderful, richest, magnificent, perfection, limitless, corrective, infinite, unlimited, infinite, all seeing, infinite, infinite is not other than form. Form is not seeing. Infinite, unlimited, supreme, supremacy, Shambhu, 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 Shambhu,
emptiness, there is no reward. Emptiness is no opposition of happiness or pleasures, no pain, no gain, no misfortune, no wealth, no money, no riches poor, no sound, no hearing, no taste, no motion, no touch, no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance and so on, up to including no aging in death and no extinction of aging in death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Sattvas relying on 12 in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awakened to unsurpassable perfect complete enlightenment in the reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of self-knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra infinitely universal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata, Gate Gate, Paladate, Parasamate, Bodhisattva. Repeatedly, Atman Sattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Brahman arose from that concentration. Well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoiced. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharipatiputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding the untidy along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken Bhagavan. Page 25, the short mandala offering.
Sanje Judan Soji Chanam La Chanchu Bada Dani Jasu Tage Chuchen Ji Pesanam Ji Dola Pinje Sanje Dubara Sanje Judan Soji Chanam La Chanchu Bada Dani Jasu Tage Chuchen Ji Pesanam Ji Dola Pinje Sanje Dubara Sanje Judan Soji Chanam La Chanchu Bada Dani Jasu Tage Chuchen Jive Sunam Ji Dola Pinche Sanje Drupa Oge de Zenye Zave Dawa Na Jeba Veji Dame Jine Denzeve Gondam De La Chazela Tenye Jinche Sane Jebe La Jije Zinze Ganje Dende Gwe Chana Bema Dide Yaga Sawa De Zajen De Lendron Sho Bande Zeve Lama Rumbaji Tage Churu Bende Nijane Kade Jebe Kone Jizande Gozande Jingo Doze Dawa Sos Hai, 다음 저 군론 검식겨라. 군론디 니 chanjuk sim 심빈 군론지 심바 치탄당 저 신내 거 돼야지. 라니 지구에 탄다면 심지 신탐제라. 펜바 바식 두야치 되는 게디 니엠바 삼바 콤바치기 스치지. 마디 군론 심비 chanjuk 심 군론 심바치. 거래스라.
Motivation should be that we can join the mind with the beneficial intention of bodhicitta, thinking that one will listen to karma abiding not just for oneself but solely for the benefit of others. So then one is going to hear and experience, reflect with the bodhicitta motivation.
뭐야 나 가고 검증해서 이 신에게 또 그쪽 인도직 투기 중앙에 깨워서 거인 되라.
Rejoicing that one is able to hear the Dharma around calm abiding. That's fortunate. Rejoice in that.
아야. 상주디 신에게 mikba sim shasa tsugura. Tadi petiru wa chiki peti jidan goda. Mikba ngone da sim nangi di tunji di gana shago tanda nganzurwa.
Yeah.
Nganzo ta shine thongmaru di. Nani pena si kuchi mikba shago yuna. Nani ku sim nang shadin yoga. Sim nang shadin yoga ku tunji di la. Di gana sim shago yura.
Yeah. So in terms of calm abiding, placing the mind on the meditative support or device, it is really the mind is placing on a generic image, isn't it? So initially, for example, one has a mental image of a statue of Buddha. So it is this generic image of the statue of Buddha you place the mind on.
단단한서 욱중 시작도
Yeah.
욱중의 템바라를 우기 주주의 템바 우게직 당분요에 게직 예외게 다 템바죠로
Yeah.
템바를 게직 당분한서 우게직 당보데 단단한서 신기요 말은 낭잠진데 나라망을 차려고다 우글라스다디 심샤운디 아니 심나는 샤딘 요기가 우수 단계 파 단계에서 다라게 강났다 심 디간 샤기였다로.
And with regards to the breath, it is really the mental recall or mindfulness of breath that is the function. Because in terms of the first moment of breath, it abates, but we can't really apprehend its appearance. So just to be aware, now I'm breathing in, now I'm breathing out.
다 단다디 치기 미과 시시네 미과 시세되네 캐베 미과 제반남 좀 미과 당도 기생 단다 미과 숨바 캐베 미과데 디걸로 레데여로.
We looked at these fourfold divisions of meditative supports or objects of calm abiding: pervasive objects, objects for purifying behavior, objects for skillful means or expertise, and fourthly, objects that purify or for purifying afflictive emotions. The third of those is where we are, the objects of expertise.
다 캐와 스튜체다 풍보가 기생 다 준다 풍모 도심바체로.
Yeah.
풍봉알라 캐와 다 풍봉알라 캐세야디 지나 풍봉을 숨어 짬 많이 바로 미 풍보되다 아니 왕 주어보 수 롱제기도
Laro.
아니 대다게 아니 다시 그래도 풍봉에는 나다도 미도 어딘데 다고더라.
Yes. So now, to become expert or skilled in means with regards to the heaps, the aggregates, it is not just recognizing the aggregates, but who is utilizing them? Who is the user? What is the nominative basis? And can the I be found within those aggregates? No.
다 되네요. 저 감로 감 좁게.
Today we are looking at the constituents, the 18 of these.
감라야 대전으로 대전들을 감스고요. 대전들을 감스고요.
Yep. So kam, or the Tibetan word, means like category, or the constituents.
세상에서 되게 디식도 공변을 감전식도
Yeah.
감전시 대전스고요라고.
Yeah. So in the monastery, when we say house number or branch, it's like a branch, or a kind of division, if you will.
다 내가 변한거라서 미과 유지 감도. 대용부 감도. 대만남시 감도. 감접제 디셔요라다.
So we can further divide those 18 divisions into 3. What is the object? What is the sense, power? And what is the consciousness? Those 3.
다 미과 유지 감도 가서나 속다 뒤로 렉자체. 아니 choice. 디엘야다 미과 유지 감도 뒤 가나서 단다데다 뇨에 조디제 유로와 속통야 요래 다태야 요래 티남야 요래 렉자뇨야 요래 아니 로 칼라사야 요래와 아니 되네 속다 디로 렉자 아니 쳐지제스다 이기 쳐 베납니다고 나가 동반이 다음에 다 망보시죠 투즈도다 쳐지지나는 쳐난 누르고요라 그다음에 쳐 탐제 저 탐제 디난 누르고 나 유기 on the chebe 나 디오는
Varana.
you on the chebe 쳐 탐제 디 you took 디난 누르고 속다 디로 렉자 쳐 디난 누르고 봐.
If we look at this category of objects, we know that through our experience, the objects are forms, sounds, odors, tastes, tangible and phenomena. So we know that the eye can perceive the forms, and then there are sounds we hear, odors we smell, tastes we taste, and of course the tangible. But then there's this category of phenomena. So the mind can know things about phenomena such as impermanence and so forth. There is no object to be known that is not within these categories.
다들 대용부 감도스데 미가 엉보나 엉보루용 이 엉보 투여라.
Now the 6 sense powers or sense sources, the eye sense source, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mental powers, sense powers.
다들 대만남시 감도죠. 미시나시 지실이 이기 셔버시제 남시 tuk도와.
And then the 6 consciousnesses, the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, tactile consciousness, and mental consciousness. 6.
다 제가 누스 단다도 상당히로 당보 감스 가래. 감 접제 가래. 대만남시 미 대마 미 아니 가서 투 유튜브 홍보투 남시투 무슨 좀 예차서 다 딜라 나도 홍보라야 돼. 먼저 가르라고 할 때 내가 배첨보를 배나 먼저 미가 홍보를 배샤로 미가 홍보 찍시는 아니 신다지 제시로 찍하고 시네 아 미가 홍보스 때 배는 먼저 속도와 돼와 유속도와 속제 아 나게 쉐바도 와라 나게 쉐바다 유속니라 데버선이들다고 야마 튜드니 배는 먼저 미가 홍보 냠도 아니 미시 자고다라 야 로처를 쳐르데 미가 엉보드 냠르데 미시 자고다 미시 잡데 네 세부 통고다고 대나시 미가 엉보데게 아니 유디스 빠르르레 셰와딜라 코 렌데기였다고 디버데라 아니 레가치니들 유다 셰바니 빠르들라 코야마 렌데니 소시 미시나시 경시나시로
라라
어딜래야 미가 엉보스겨 숙진 당화 숙 당화래 숙 탐모래데
So then the 6 kind of, let's look at this category of the 6 sense powers, because this is an important one. And, we can give the example of the eye organ or the eye sense power. So, of course, there has to be a connection between the object form and the consciousness, the inner consciousness that perceives it. There has to be a connector similar that, as we age, we need glasses to see. So the eye sense power or organ is like that. It helps the consciousness to perceive its object form, and it is like a subtle, clear form that does the job. Yes.
다도 이 남자도 저는 하자 비다고 시계로.
Yeah, so the setting forth of these 18 constituents or divisions is clearly laid out in Abhidhamma Kosha.
다 미기 옹복이 유튜브에 인지민지 타뉴고 다른 분에 통도고 당저로.
Yeah.
그 인지민지 유타뉴보다 타체 미기 옹보다 유디 체고요 말아. 유디 마체는 그 그런 뉴버지 다른 분에 주 렌토고요로.
Yeah. So that function of that kind of eye sense power, it doesn't need to make direct contact with its object. Neither does the object need to be close. The eye sense power can function with regards to an object very far away.
다른다 나가 옹보다
Yeah.
나가 옹보다 티디니니 최고로 다 뉴버시지로. 마체는 그 자원시도고요 말이죠.
But it's not the case with the nose sense power. The nose must come in close contact with its object, the odor, for it to be perceived.
저러서 나가 옹보디 야고예서랑 예 나가 옹보디 야고시다.
You guys probably have a really good nose sense organ. Mine is not so good.
그 까도면도 그 상호지제 에네 엘러지 지기도 내 옹보디 내가 지금
it's blocked because of allergies, and so mine has ceased to function.
내 옹보디 그 내가 다다 지금다 그
My nose sense power really doesn't work so good.
제가 다 유체라야 돼요. 마 띵사로 삼는 다는데 근데 딘데스 디건조서는 니니 토구다 되라.
Yeah.
이내 응원에 전에 니니 책이요 말데 버를 동자여로.
Yeah.
저는 나게 엉보다 비 팀원이 버를라 동자지여로다. 동자지 동정어도 동자도 하고 뭐 저는
Right.
데 먼저 투버로
obviously tonga.
데버를 데어 나게 감게 동자여 되면은 다들 연구요 말아 다디 먼저 딘데 디세 자는데 모던 게 체르버드서 컨트 디세 되는 잡은 거다. 모던 디 컨트롤.
Yeah, concentration.
피직도 좀 tre요 말했어.
Yeah.
먼저다 모던 피직도 장요 말들. 디 장요 자고 더더 따따따따로 실내용 거다라.
Now, if we take this notion deeper, the notion of the sense contacting its object, even though when I touch the microphone to the cup, it appears as if they're touch. But in reality, there's no kind of contact, because there has to be a space between them for that contact to take place. If there was no space between, there would be no sound. And this is something that has been looked at in physics and science, the fact that there's still between the two objects space particle. So I've not studied science, but I think it's similar view.
네 말하자 되게 심지 탐지당 수수 되어요 저러.
Yeah.
디간에 상담하는 시단에도 걸어.
Yeah. Then it's good to think how one could be connected with all sentient beings.
내게 수부기 제디제디 단당에 루고 제차되라. 당아마 시스나나 메라제그라.
Yeah.
다데 텔차라. 가시 vegetable 난도래 가시 채난도래 가시 다만들도라. 이거도 뒤진디제더라. 다 저런저 루고 뒤진 당에 루고 뒤네. 야 두저지기 간라 야 미 류딘도 싱도 도도 직차인데 먼저 류딘이 차네 대화 쉬우지 차야 찬요요래 나한테 전한테 류도
Equal.
비디게 나한테 류도 비디게 근데 상배 다 다른 걸 따나 그 된대래도 진짜 내가 수구도 시체는 건들 대화 쉬우도 안 오네 신으라
And if we think about the amalgamations of our bodies just on a particle level, subtle particle level, we are connected because we die and then the physical aspect of our body becomes like a dust in the fire. Some of it might go on the veggies. Sorry. And then some of it, your body that was human flesh that becomes dust could become stone or wood. So all of us here are equal in that regard. If we think really far, it's like that.
I think sometimes your body particle may body particle sometimes one function, right?
Yeah.
Maybe cup.
Yeah, maybe they made a cup before.
Yeah, the the mator yashi mator tangayo mataro.
Because when you think about it, the destruction of phenomena and then it's coming together, there's no count to it.
And those the 10 days the channel do you devadi. Shembina was so good to she channel do the you dev.
When you think about the dependent arising and the interrelatedness of things, and that our bodies are just amalgams.
Well, to enjoy your day, power Niggering Patagerma, Shiwjik, that Shiwji Degero. Tile young, the Duding shall some done, Maran's Ludin Chichinor, the Karahang side.
So, people often think, well, I've got a special connection with my parents, grandparents, relatives. But actually, if you think on a particle level, we're all one. Are kind of connected. Yeah, much closer, isn't it? Physical. Yeah, so lots of ways to reflect in this manner.
Sheva dang yu gi dewa cha dang di ongbu gi chi yorwa di
Yeah.
di kechumbu cha yorwa.
But what's important is for us to think on these sense powers, because the connection between the consciousness and its object is important. Yeah, and then of course, there's a connection with our bodies and those sense organs, sources, the sense powers.
아니 미기 통야 당고 미기 통야 메와 암저 코야 면조 어딘데 차로다 지금 내가 저었으나 류기 첼레드 냠도데 옹보딜 레가로 때도고요 뭐라 옹보를 레가디 렌디 아마도데 아니 셰바디 레가 치기요 뭐라 아니 어두 체네 아니 류기 자와디 저도데 아니 다 남시디 되는 데네 던다요 뭐라 콜레가요 뭐라 아니 코 돈제 양콜 레가 요서질라 류딘 사와질라 다디 레가 민두스 모더닝 버와 warranty take you warranty witness dawa tu ganzo car ke warranty de take ora kaza ro warranty fitness samare
yeah warranty fitness 1 year usually
odi da dawa tu ina logic in the take ora
derba
ganzo mi de da inji sena ganzo de nangbe shune sena thande lu de chalo jawagi lo jag da dero kashe de lo jalak se de ora kashe lo jaju yin de dine ni ko zo da o chigore de
So this connection between the body and the sense powers within the body is good to know, because once the body generally starts to degenerate, your power of your eye sense organs goes down, you can't hear as well. And eventually, if the eye sense organs and ear and other sense organs go down, there's no function for the consciousness. The consciousness has no job to do because the body sense faculty is degenerated, and this, with no job to do, the consciousness starts to look for a new body. Much like an old car needs a new warranty. What is it? 6 months, 1 year, have to renew.
Yeah.
So within Buddha Dharma, you might have within your body 100 years if you're lucky, 80 for the bodies to function.
Yeah,
it is said to be the reign of the 100-year span now. Yeah, but these kind of periods of expressions of time, that's degenerating now.
mi jena ya ore ne chido shimido chiudo jena ko phirje khasuglo rodegla ane de luden sawa ji len ore ya experience sawa ji ora ko ya uda.
It's not really amazing to think that there's death, is there? I mean, the body can cease to function and you must take another one. You want to get a human one, but you could be a dog or a cat. Well, that would be a new experience.
시다 신대시고 말이다. 아, 지금 저지뭐 기다 심이제는 기대서 로 중이 조선 주실라 대문다라. 로 중이 조스비시네 experience다. 양 디질이 저신다질라. 아, 제다 디 두저 상로 두스 담에나 아제다 디 시자디 마와 셈디 갸체로. 무인의 주디 신인데 안가는 셈난 게 감다다 독보다 망보직 매우 차로더라. 편도 되어라.
One shouldn't really worry a lot then. I mean, one dies and perhaps takes a dog body and you might live 12, 13, 14 years as a new experience. That's all you'll get. But anyway, that's by the way. But anyway, the point about thinking of this is that in reality, the mind can think in very vast ways. And when the mind is vast, there's less room for worry.
아니 다디인데 개지슈디 안디예기 주jen디 젤 상당으로 와.
야.
주jen디 젤 상당인데 지선 수기 수캄디 근데 아니 종아 로 년龄 줄 현지 제년 줄도 도저를 되는 누구요로 주야야 상당나 년龄세야 되고 제기 유마도니들 년龄세 거래. 현지 예스나 딜러 거신이다. 당연하죠. 매도 배샤시네 약쇼래. 매도게 사면데요. 사면데라 년龄이 주유스 거래. 근데 추단 르단 니마다 트여다 롱다 두즈 왜다 두즈 참고 그 현지 시기에서 갖고 겨울 조진이더라. 어디 뭐뭐 탐제로 어디 유단 진이데 여여르잖아. 어디 상로 디 상로 당고다. 디 단대데 감접지에 내가로 두즈 상로 당고로 해서 왔다.
Now, in the context of these, what we call 18 divisions or constituents, it's good to think on, or important to think on causes and conditions. So, for example, the form being a compound element, any type of form will, if it's a compound of particles, will have like a substantial cause and a cooperative condition to it, highlighted best with the example of the seed in a flower. The seed is the substantial cause of the flower, but the cooperative conditions would be the water, sunlight, fertilizer, and so forth that allow the flower to come to be. So cause and conditions important to reflect on in terms of the 18 here. Yeah. Yeah, and then this very body, the direct cause, the primary cause, substantial cause is the sperm and ova of the parents, and then that's why the connection with the appearance is so important. The connection with the parents.
the ongbola the chesan the benangzo the mi debjad in the shore accident in the chair and they said ni lugi ongbo the tugurda lugi ongbo the tugdu ani leva da joachia sim da lubaru dewa the chair and sim ragwat ge the garo ani ina mi the shigi shiwa marangzo ina de negalo kharje sim ragwat ge temno sim tamodi lega chigo warda 다디 미망고라 데바 미망고는 냠뇨도 아데 이거 좀 늦절 아 미망고 토스 텐데 그래서 뭐라 대브로 accident channel
Yeah.
아니 수부디 멤버기 심 신다지요 그마 따대니 룰마 따대니로 요죠 대셈 타모드래 이기 남시디 타모드로
Malam.
이기 남시 타모디 아니 그마 따대 따데 이기 남시 타모테당 르니다 대와 요말 단데 르라고데 대와시다 요말 얘는 대와 요말나 오늘 가르쳤네 대대요래 르디랑 대어스나 레게 다디 레르면서 계속해서 요말 레게 대와 체메비 인상 고 양자 수부디는 줄레기요래 미디 시차베서 줄레기다 디 가르친 레고스는 코 단데 레조 메비 인상 아니 코다 우스겹지 대거들 다디 레라는 거는 디시 자르면서 지게 신달라 대와 수지 가요 군조스에 나 군조 간데 서르 스토잖아 렌자요 뭐라로 레오 수세야디 수수 아니 왕랑즈 디나시래 말랑즈 페나 레스니디 코 심기 편바들 왕랑즈 수수기 심기 편바디 수수 심기 편바디 왕랑즈 페나 레스니디 빼샤고르다 랑에 땅아 디트기니스 가서 그래 아버무리서 뭐 콤바접 두근이 있으러 와 굴론 제고다 디 레레디 디 이니 디네 코다 타직 제사도 코베 누구다 아버무리서 콤바접 누구다라 코 누구다 배워 제사 그게는 굴론 직 편바직 제고다 딜 편바제니딜라 디 소니딜라 레스고다 낭베게 이다직 셔버송이 장저 미토아요 말에 가도요 말에 입이요 말에 그 레슨이 셔버송자 딜라 리시 자하고요 이나 좀제 상을 먹고 따나 라트웨어 수수 메제나네 라트웨어 와 이미지 밀게지 티쳐 말에 수수게 다 춘주간에 단도사고나서 직 도대고요 와 티간라 상무단다 디나네 배 레망보라요 뭐라 먼저 레슨이 되게 레망보드네 라요
This point about the sense powers is important with regards to the gross and subtle functionings of the mind. For example, if there is an accident, the grosser senses or sense powers cease to work. And in a sense, there is a mind-body separation. Well, really, the gross mind at this stage of the accident has ceased to work, but somehow the subtle mind still does work and often can witness or see that. A lot of people have had that experience and shared that with me here due to an accident. And at that time, it's the subtle mind that could see, but the gross mind's not really got much to do with the body. And then the question would be, why did the person not die? In this case of the accident, with regards to the subtle mind's connection to the body still, and that would have to be karma, because it would have to be the fact that it wasn't time karmically for that being to leave that body, not time to leave. So it's not like we could reason that God caused the accident to be or so forth. But it is this thing called karma. Here, karma is the mind which kind of directs towards something or has this compulsion of flinging. So for example, you have the thought to walk to Appamuteri. First you think, I'll walk to Appamuteri. Then you actually start to do it. But first you had the thought, the intention to go. And that is how karma works. It's difficult to explain because such a karma, you can't see it, there's no shape, there's no color. But if you think about it, you can introduce it to yourself through the reasoning of you looking back on your life as a child in the context of your experience, you can reason it. Yeah.
there's pemba shuk chimbo je den bena aba modula dogen hes kulno shuk chimbo jamdo me shi rodo munda
yeah
아, 당한 녀석.
Yeah.
갈래카도 들레 샤단 차동 되는 기분에서
Yeah.
너무 달아야.
The karma to go to Upamutari, you have to give the consciousness has to give it quite a boost, quite strong, because you could say, oh, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered walking to Upamutari. So it has to be like a
그래서 경적하시 길어가고 싶지도.
yeah.
아니, 나치디 스스 때에서 강의를 듣는 나치디 이러시는 스팅도.
Yeah.
저도 길 겨울에 레서고 치디 인삼 이러시는 세베 심디 숙청무 쉬지게는 연가요래. 나 치디 이러서는 삼바 짬지기 싫어. 숙청무 하지 말아. 제가데 다데 심중 심벌해야 돼. 심 유라 요 삼바 칼로 줄듬이 심중 주고 돼. 심디 누워 첨부지고. there's a new version of Kulon than Toyota, the Kulon than
Yeah. So then, a lot of you like dogs, and if you get too close, you have to be careful. You so like dogs, you could be creating the cause to be one. Because it is this mental factor of intention that has the power to direct the mind to such a thing. So you have to really be aware of that potency of thought.
저는 저든지 레뉴에 강에마 타워마 제군에 저들리기 용하라. 아 천자로 와. 저니 용아 저니로. 저직 가래라나. 아야 나 아마도 바여로. 천자 간줄롱 바 아마 바 망보더라. 나디 아마 바 딜 나 가데슬린. 로야. 미망고 아마 바 망보 열어라.
Yeah.
이나다 게 아마 딩에 디 가데슬리나. 로. 수수이나.
Yeah.
수 나데 땅래 로.
Yeah.
이제 교수들인데 저 거냐 나데 시주가 디 저디 시주 코르게 디 렌드 제라 타워제 빼졌다는 메시지 나데 렌드 라마서 로.
Two major questions I had before I was a monk. The first one was, there are so many parents in the valley. How did I come to be with these parents? Who made it? Who sent me here? But these particular parents, and I didn't really get any answers till I'd studied as a monk around this.
저 니어디들에 땅에 심지어로. 안에 심디 미르덴데라 심디레가 지기도. 땅에 미르덴디 싱로지라로. 쪽지로지는 주나. 내가 지금은 다로. 네 심디 쪽지는 주나. 디레가 지기로 지금은 도.
Yeah.
아야면은 미시산조로 봐.
Yeah.
미시산조 지금 루디나는 게 쉐와데 파도에는 내가 지기로. 디 지금은 도. 같이 디 같이 내려.
Yeah.
대야 대 저디 베디 대 저디 쉽지가. 저디데 베 유릉부데스. 저디 semnal 유릉부데스.
The second question lingered a very long time. That this mind, okay, serves this body. But why can't this mind enter into the table or a piece of wood and serve that? Or enter into a corpse and make the corpse work? I thought about this for a long time. Do you think like that? Yeah.
Asta kanzo simsa shebosea kona DJ yomara tango kagore.
Yeah.
이간라 지나서다 망보지 리슝이 차네. 나다 춘주간에 지겨워가지다 된대게 밤았다 상마 구육코랑 아니 심기 깨져세요래 심 가두이나 밤하게 심 기부셔 되고서 라그러.
Yeah.
딜랍제디 쇼레도 밤아 가두이나 라그래. Somebody was a day or a cam Karina Didoros. The shows a luxury door.
Yeah.
So the same Jewish a day or said, get it to you and I'm just not Lucia of Hamag.
Perhaps you didn't have such a background of thinking about mind. In our culture, past lives, that kind of talk was quite common. And parents were always saying, just be happy, nothing more than that, just be happy. They were saying to us, yeah, keep a happy mind, keep a happy mind. And that was their advice to us as youngsters. Anyway, that's a great piece of advice, isn't it? Keep your mind happy.
Yeah. 디카둘라 주제는 상담단서 딘데 상담 열었다. 그래서 디 상담도 야야야 던데 겨우가지 건 루더로
간대야고 돌아와도 시야도잖아. 심디도 제도네. 가르스는 심디 지금진다 내룩 신야기 간라 도구도 디 심디 내기도 어디가. 신내기 심 템포 차야기 탐nom직도 와대. 디님도라 아니 셰르페야라 탑신직 니도 와대로.
like need
곰디 잡이나.
yeah.
텐도 니도 찍네 셈바 템포 차야. 니네 셰르페야로. 셰르페용도 하다.
So anyway, whatever outer conditions come, then if your mind is happy, it's good. But in terms of cause and conditions, being able to trace one's mind or trace oneself to past lives, and of course, because with mind there has to be a cause, there has to be a reason, and if you think about the method of calm abiding, it is a method upon which we firstly stabilize our minds, but secondly, wisdom increases, because you're doing this reasoning analysis. So two benefits in calm abiding. I'm using such an object. No.
네, 다 규단 개인가 상무 당연히 당 알아서 상무라 네 이마지가 초와디 나는 게되게 걸어. 규진야 고지 태디 삼바 기부 용거로. 규진야 고지 말도 기부 용거 말이야. 당 알아서 규진야 고 태야가 체디 알아서 수수 배전 쳐거래. 규진야 고 칸데 사고도 수수 배전 쳐거래.
야.
규진데 배전 쳐나 아니야 기부 용거로. 규진데 야고지를 배전 맞잖아. 아니 동해미시 용어요 말다. 디 단다 디 규진 디 감기 규단 견을 상무 당세야 디 수수유다 냠내서 그래. 매제 상무 당당 가라. 다 낭배치가 닝부로 오지 네가 투대요. 규단 견을 되네 중화 셰고야 돼. 싸워러 오지 투대요다. 데로 낭배치에서 난 공원에도 레더 다 리얼리티로 레더로 왜네들을 규단 견을 되네 중 견냐 레더 하면서 니마게 이제 칼라사야지는 규진 되네 중화래. 안 규진들 파상 당 하장 자체 뭐 띵서 뭐 쉬어지 봐. 타메버리더라. 쇼삼단에도 하다.
And in terms of sustaining our lives and feelings being good or bad, cause and conditions are so important. It's good to put effort into the fact that we will be happy. We'll have good feelings, not negative ones. So then on the level of our effort, we should create the cause to have good experiences, good feelings in terms of cause and conditions. Particularly in terms of the experience of this life, but in a broader sense, from the perspective of Buddha Dharma, this is the essence of Buddha Dharma, that everything is a result of cause and conditions. Well, not only that, it's a reality, isn't it? That you can trace that. And if you just think about how you sustain yourself day by day in terms of the food you eat and the cause and conditions behind that, it is so deep, so vast.
어디 감 좁지.
알아요나?
디 남샤데 예라. 장가자만 임바체. 아니 주진삼. 안데네다 공부. 데네다 남시 미고에 때문 남시 감둘란데. 다 남시 있어야 돼. 당연하죠. 정말 심기 시험한데 심디 네 차단하게 시험하다. 저는도 유망무지 가서 이모션이 시기도 대시험한데 주도 다 강의 되게 왔다. 당연하죠. 강의 되대. 랑 심기 시험한데 주. 심 아니 차단하게 시험한데 주. 차단해야 돼. 거대버 시험이나 저는도 단다 이모션이 완 라완 매버체. 먼저 단다 두 스토리게 여러 왔잖아. 인디 셈기 고데다 먼저 낭추 세다 낭스디 치수다 나셈니게 셈 조다야게 네 답람게 쳐들라 낭추세게 없다 낭추
낭추. So one should think on these 18 constituents, not just by the number, but like the function and how and place the mind on it in terms of the cause and conditions. So that's something about the sense organs functioning. And what about consciousness? Very important because our minds are like overpowered by disturbing emotions, or you call them emotions, desires, attachment, and so forth. Therefore, it gives us kind of a lack of freedom. So therefore, because of that, we're not free. So when we talk about outer forms and inner minds perceiving those forms, this is how we connect the term Buddhist or insider, meaning that you're working with your mind, inner mind. No. Namparwa? Namchu. Yeah, it's like inner phenomena, working with that.
That is same. Now, same na the Yanchi Kasora. Shindara, Sawara, New Chambro, your service, that is Shangodos. Sega do dena. Near Yomara. Tandarang, the Chick-tending just to her. Kiranzo, the Karshig or Kansas shouldn't shake.
Yeah.
Shake. Oh, yes, Shingido. Yes, Shingim do Sansa door. Tarare, Sheva Tarare. Till look Serge Yomare. Oh, yes, Shingido Sansa. Shingim do Sansa. Oh, the Karsig your son, sim Tarare, and Chadan in the game, Taran, Chataran, Chevy Chataran Roh, Till looks. You are Taran, Till looks.
There is another potency one can get of mind when one seeks to find consciousness, cannot find it under analysis, but somehow things are being said. You're thinking, what are the strange things Geshe is saying? Or like, I know that, I don't know that. Just that fact that you are thinking about what's being said, I know that, I don't know that. That is it. That is it. And then mostly we are operating with afflictions of desirous attachment and aversion. You don't need to seek further than that. That is consciousness.
That comes up yet in here, right?
Yeah.
That the Gigi Juni, sir. That the Gigi Juni, the Chigi, Migis, Nagis, Trigis, Gigi, and then Chu Gigi took chair, and then Mishi Nashi, Gigi, Lucy, the Yelia, and then took Gigi Juni to Shagora.
Yep. So then these 12 spheres, so the 6 sources for the 6 sense powers. So then you have like the 6 objects, which we said were like forms, sounds, odors, tastes, tactiles, and then phenomena. And then the sense powers, or the immediately preceding condition for the sense power to function, those 6.
That the Gigi said the Gewar Chiv, going when Gigi, Namshi Gewar Chevra. Me Gigi, Nagis, Trigis, Regis, and on the day, sharing with the Sundo. Ne, and that the Tambu Fumunga de Che, and the name Swami Dijin Nation. Gigi, any? DJ de la Nish. Gigi Juni di Mewa Sunguda, right?
Yeah.
Sharing winner. And Tembashi Yomaris. That was a Tanya di Yomara Sigomara, Tandam de Yomara Sigora. And that is a sharing winner, Yomara Sati. Tandamba Yomaresero, Tandamasana. Kana Demi to be Sugiomara Ezra. Kana Demi you were Diomar Sigomishi. Sugiomar, Diomar Sigomara, Sudan Diora.
So it is, why are they called sources? Because there has to be a source upon which these various consciousnesses are produced. So for the eyes, that would be a form, and then the sense powers and so forth. So, it's important to understand them as they are listed in the Heart Sutra. So, for example, first we go through the 5 aggregates of form, feelings, discriminations, compositional factors, and consciousness. And then we go through these 12, these 12 spheres or sources, the 6 objects, and then the 6 sense powers, and then 4 noble truths. Now, there's a negation next to all of those. Know this, know this, know that. Of course, we're not saying conventionally they don't exist, but ultimately they're not findable. So what's being said is that there's no kind of non-dependent faculty being listed in these attributes. Of course, there is a nominal form and a nominal sound, but not an independent one. Yes.
Will we
get a headache? Will we get a headache? If we go through the 12 links. Shall we meditate instead? Yeah, let's meditate. So we'll breathe a bit first to settle all of the things I just said. So breathing now to relax the mind, to meditate. First, reflect on the 18 constituents. The 6 objects of the senses, the sense organs themselves, and then the 6 consciousnesses that perceive them. Think on them. First, we're going to think on the objects, the 6 objects. Firstly, the various forms that we see, flowers and so forth, these other things. And then the sounds we hear, it could be music, music or sound of a car, sound of whatever. And then the odors, the good and bad smells that we smell, the tastes that are pleasurable and displeasurable, tangible things we touch. And then finally, phenomena. We think on impermanence, we think on time, we think on the non-self of persons. So here it is a mental function that's happening with the object. It is a convention. And now the 6 sense powers. Let's start with the eye sense faculty. The fact that we can see something clearly, and we know that it is doing the work of connecting the consciousness with the object to clearly perceive it. So the same with the ear sense faculty, the nose sense faculty, the tongue sense faculty, the bodily tactile one, and then the mental. It is good to be able to list them in order and reflect.
하드네 데모남시 칸도 믹시 나시 믹시스 미기시 니다 믹시 미기 토는 직시기도 항저 믹시에서 나시스 티신이지도 티 제시스 지레기 로뇨인지도 루시스 루지 온거다 루탐젤 캡데 루시 근데네 이 나시스 다코니스도 나시요 자신이스도 다야고 다상고 다도자스 아니 다니모스 이기 남시스 다 저다 저 셰베나가 저도 이기 남시에 착용을
Now the faculties of the 6 consciousnesses. The eye consciousness allows us to see. The smell allows us to smell odors, that consciousness. Taste, to taste things. The tactile pervades the whole body, allows one's consciousness to feel. And then sounds, you hear sounds, good, bad, or clear, or otherwise. But it is the mind consciousness that is the primary job to do, mental.
다드네 수고 옹불라 규 닐렌주단 리지시기 니시 따당고디 뇌디게 메도디 베샤게 저런서 메도 멤버인데 쇼고다 방근이라고든지 베 저런서 방고지 밤긴을 거다니 밤긴 근데 사실 규금발 가면은 지금 근데 사실 수수가 잘랑고 가거기나 어디 상담하러 디 니lên 주가래 리지시 가래 제윤도 니 주디 가래 콜라 개와치니 로와치니 가래 어디 상담하냐 와라.
So in terms of forms, we mentioned the direct substantial cause and the cooperative condition. So the example was given of a flower. But what about potatoes and pumpkins? You like pumpkins, or you can think on the substantial cause and cooperative condition of a pumpkin, or you can change it to a cucumber.
Yeah. 니lên 주사데 제윤도 니들라 니lên 주소래.
Remember, the substantial cause is the substantial, how would you say? Like the main cause on a particle level for the thing.
네, 메도디 야고도라.
Yeah.
메도디 저는 그 사면디 군인의 유체. 메달 뒤에 추게 보여라. 네 추다. 네 류들 이제 보여라. 그래서 그 현지 지진 제로.
Yeah.
류도 야고 트레더 주에 와는 메달 빼면서 야고시 주진 메달 제약 주진들이 야고 주는 메달 야고시 시작더라.
Yeah.
그래서다 유단见了的呢. 다양 주진지 망타로. 제 망타로. 추만다 되 메달 시도더라.
Yeah.
저는 지금 망타되어 지금은 다 어디서 그 배저 링다 되나 시나 알아서 당고 치기 이제 뭐부터 저 다단서 어딘데지 야고시 인터넷에서 류를 줄 배잔다 예 류년에 가래 파마니 구자로 왔다 안텔라 제월 로진이 다 칼라서야다 니 구야다 아니다 류제제야다 어디도 상마 도도 상마 그 수부처야게 데려와 가서 그래 텐지시기로 알아
Yeah.
네 니마구도 와 니마면은 용구면도 네 저거는 하고고도 추고도 다그 두로고도 라 강바고도 다 강바도 류저야게 텐지시기로 어디서 상고 삼다 쉬어도 하고 류저야 만장도 깔레지야 상만 류디 쳐야지 깔레지냐 야데도 안 삼다는데라
Yeah. So then I think the example of a flower and the seed is the good one, the seed being the substantial cause of the flower, but it also needs these cooperative conditions, water, fertilizer, sunlight, and so forth. But if you give the flower good fertilizer and the conditions, it will really bloom nicely, but too much water or too much fertilizer, and it won't come to be. But it's very good to know then these outer components and to know how they function well, to reflect on these outer things, let's say these outer compound phenomena. And then you can move it to your own body, the direct substantial cause, once again, the parents, sperm and ovum, and then, of course, to sustain that body, food, sleep, exercise, to sustain it. But also we need sun, we need warmth, we need wind, we need water, we need a house, we need clothes. In fact, when you think about it, so much effort we put into goes to sustain our body.
근데 다 될 삼다나요 그래 삼바 기부요 왜는 단다 삼바 기부요네 기부체가 일년주 가래 텐지진 가래 대삼다 야 삼바 기부면도 나나 야 대주대 일년주대 가래 텐지진 가서 이지민지 기부직 수유 삼다 두부직 삼당 말이야 단다 간 요어데 단다 삼바 기부도나 어디 기부디 영약이 일년주 가래 텐지진 가래 어디 시험버치도 내고다
And then, if you are feeling happy, what is the substantial cause of that? What are the cooperative conditions of that? Or if you're feeling down and out, what is the direct cause of that? What are the cooperative conditions? Of course, one doesn't need to fabricate it. One's mind now, one can recognize and know.
다 semba 기부용야게 년년주딩가 되는 semba 상보들이 싫어. 단 신다 유식으로 나랑 상담은 semba 상보체야데 다 야고 기부용야게 년년주 뒤에 가서는 가서 semba 상보데 내가라 직생라 디 가나한테서 용거도 아니 디 제일 gen로지 야고지 태운데 아니 가나한테 숙처로 도고도 기부라데 sem게 대외차들어와 그 년년주 sem게 준지 마도고라 셈기 준지게 아니 셈기 년년 주체 그러면서 지금 셈 많이 지금 셈이 속다 아니 미기 책 야고 쉐어도 년년 두고야 뭐 상황 걸 현지 시즌 그거 제단다 안저 두상다로 먼저 디지기 규조데 수수 년년 규조데 셈바 상보들에도 다 디나라니 미지 야고를 라로다 미로 거체로다 아니 지금 뚱제 야고 남시 야고다 아니 제 수보되어다 저와 쉬지다 가서 콜려다 수수보되어요다 남시 야고요다 아니 예미 미드즈 게모로지 게와다
Yeah.
미상은 무대에서지는 아니 세마 유문다 상월로 마 동료지 좀 게모로지 게되나 아니 수수 유르시 용다고 어디서 삼다나 규조디 삼바상바라시 셈기 규소다 아디 제가 수수도 구해라도 아디 규조디 예len 규도 조래 현실 규패버와 규패버딩 아주 조직이었디 아주 치기 뜻 지미 피조 별지 치기 차네 두번야디 유폐버라고 이는 규지다래 거와 규진지다래 도 삼다운데 내가 차디 수수 삼는 라리기도 하다 봐 근데 저 하고도 하다 도 삼다운데 뭐 곰잡인데 하고도 와도 섬데 스탄쇼 스타라
And I do think that happiness, the substantial cause of that is a warm heart. That because when you do something with kindness, there's a kind of a joy, and latterly when the conditions for that to fruit come, that increases that joy. So because that happiness or bliss of mind has to ride on the mental continuum as its previous cause. It cannot ride on something opposite, like form. So, in that sense, well-being is, well-being, the primary cause of that is kind heart. And then the cooperative conditions, of course, if you have good friends, good weather, the body is good, friends that are relaxed and laugh a lot. Of course, if you're around crying people all the time, that could affect you. But this primary cause of your happiness is really, you made it. You kind of made it, substantial cause. And these other things, they're just like the support. So it's good to meditate and think in these ways.
안다 뒤진 곰데 데스 잠나야 오여라 당부 치기 오버지라 벨레 안데네 스줄루라 벨레 안데네 남시기 디둑라 수자제도 삼다나네 아데 삼모 망보다나 아니 규단 젠라데네 용구여바데 수수 디둑 카레네 규데 젠라 용구여바데 아니 라트고르와.
It's really good to meditate in this way, beginning first with outer compound things, outer things, and then one's body and feelings, and then things like the weather, these outer things. Because then, however you're feeling, be it good or bad, you can think, these are coming from certain causes and conditions.
Oh yeah, that is our.
We'll stop for this class.
Sanje shinde mide ewa ye degu nanda shinla chupara shu zera din shin nanga tinle chochu jeba tang lo san timbe dweme sasu dwewe mese dado ne gyuchi guru rane mende la kani yadayami Gyodi Nideda Lama Sanja Dujine Doachi Jamale Vadi Salagosh Shajuzim Jarimboji Majibana Yuji Giwanya Bamewaya Gonagande Pevash Chanjada Jawana Jazera Vajazoya Gawajazeta Yajazava Tanjazo Vajaju Jambo Jingadi Penadeva Malajani Jerezava Dijabe Chavez Deva Dinju Chanjaoda Jujoda Jazera Guizo, and Jezo, by Shu Jawazong, choosing our power, the gauges and Mashaw. Tinjamalu Samasho, Dada Shi to Sudan, and the Jawalos and Tawi, Timber. The Georgia Congressing on the Pen and the Manager and the Genesis of the Sherry City, which I just enjoyed much of my Honey, when they were a joke on the Mother to the ship, Southern Dodges and Combine you to show